Nobody hit you. Nobody screamed at you. On the surface, everything looked fine. You had food, shelter, everything you were supposed to have. But something was missing. Something you could never quite name. Your emotions were inconvenient. Your needs were too much. You learned very early that the safest thing to do was to feel less, need less, and ask for nothing. And you became so good at it that now, as an adult, you are not even sure what you actually feel anymore. This is called childhood emotional neglect. And it is one of the most invisible and misunderstood forms of psychological pain that exists. Not because it did not happen, but because what happened was an absence, not an event. There was no single moment to point to, no clear memory to hold, just a quiet emptiness that followed you into adulthood and shaped everything. Your relationships, your self-worth, your ability to receive love, and your deep persistent feeling that something is fundamentally wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you. Your nervous system simply learned to survive in an environment where your emotional world did not matter to anyone else. Psychologist John Ice Webb, who pioneered research on childhood emotional neglect, found that adults who experienced it share a remarkably consistent set of patterns. They struggle to identify what they are feeling in the moment. They feel fundamentally different from other people, disconnected, empty, like they are watching life from behind glass. They are highly self-critical and find it almost impossible to ask for help. They feel an inexplicable guilt when they prioritize their own needs. And they often have deep, loving relationships with others while being completely unable to turn that same care inward toward themselves. The neuroscience behind this is precise. When a child's emotional expressions are consistently met with silence, dismissal, or discomfort, the brain learns to suppress emotional signaling. The neural pathways responsible for emotional awareness and self-expression become underused and weak. This is not a personality trait. This is neurological adaptation. Your brain did exactly what it needed to do to keep you safe in an environment that could not hold your feelings. The problem is that you carried that adaptation into a world that can. The first step toward healing is not fixing anything. It is simply learning to notice, to pause and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Not what should I feel? Not what is the right response? Just what is true for me in this moment? That single question, asked consistently and honestly, begins to rebuild the neural pathways that emotional neglect quietly shut down. You are not broken. You are a person who learned to survive without something you should have had. And learning to give it to yourself now, slowly, imperfectly, honestly, is not weakness. It is the most courageous thing a person can do. If this video reached something inside you, our last video is waiting. We went deep into the psychology of traumatic intelligence and why your pain was building you all along. Go watch that one next. The link is right there. See you in the next video on Mind Unlocked.